Here we go, here we go.
First concert of 2019. Oh my god, and it was fantabulous. Okay, so as you can probably tell by the title, I saw Tim Minchin live. See? That was really classy. Like, I don't know how the concept of this shirt came along, but when you're wearing a skirt like mine, it is really hard because you have to go, oh, huh. Like that's like classy in itself, right? And it's this chair squeaking, not me, I swear. Oh, okay, so Tim Minchin started at 8 PM. He didn't finish till 10:30, which isn't too bad, I guess, considering. That's my breath. I'm surprised I can actually talk, considering I was singing along to almost every song he performed tonight. As his title of the show is called, it's called Back, and it's old songs, new songs, and fuck you songs. Okay, and with the old songs, everybody knew the old songs, so we were miming along or trying to sing along without interrupting the next person next to us, or you know, we were trying to participate without being annoying. Sometimes we would do sing-alongs, like with the song Cheese. He would get us to spell it out or say it, or something, like he would want us to be part of it. Or with this weird Woody Allen Jesus song, he'd want us to be part of it as well. So there are times where it's audience participation, which is pretty cool. I love when celebrities do audience participation, because it's like, we are you and you are us. Yeah, so that's the premise of his show. He explained it. He's like, you know, when I came up with the tour, I said I'll do a tour, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. You know, I don't know if it's new songs, old songs, fuck you songs. I'm just going to call it Back, and that's the tagline. Sorry, and that's the tagline. And then the tour got closer, and he's like, I still don't know what I'm going to do. I've still got this tagline, so you know what? Jumble it all together. You know, all my fans are here, you've all been following me for however long. So you're gonna know most of these songs, except for maybe like the 3 that I play that you don't know, because I only wrote them days before I started touring or whatever, because I technically haven't released them publicly. So you are just going to sit there and probably laugh, probably cry, probably wet your pants, maybe, who knows. But yeah, it's, sorry. But you know, it's very fun. And then he also talks about the micaproject.org.au. If I can find the link, I'll put it in the description below, where he talks about hashtag believe survivors, and he says that you know, domestic survivors, like domestic abuse survivors, homeless, child abuse survivors, they all need to be heard, and their voice needs to be heard, which is a positive thing, because, you know, he could be a total dick and be like, I'm going to shut up the survivors can shut up, and instead he's like, we need to believe survivors. So it's like, yes, yes. So yeah, that was a positive message. A lot of his things as well, I feel like I'm rambling, but whatever, a lot of his things came with a positive message. Like, if you've been following Tim Minchin for years, I've been following him, I think, since mid-2000s? I know I was in high school and I started following him. I think the first album I got of his was the one where he had like a piano-like hand. It's something to do with the Royal Albert Hall. I think that's the first album that I got. And I don't actually remember how exactly I became one of his fans. I think I saw something on YouTube, and that's how I became a fan of his. So I know what his messages are like. Some of them are like controversial, some of them are positive, some of them are like, are you really going there? Like, it starts a debate on it, which is a good thing. And so that's the same thing he does tonight. He has a controversial, he has a positive message, and then he has the whole, let's start a talk about it, but it's my show, so I'm going to do all the talking and you can sit there and listen. And it's a good thing. He could, you know, when I look at artists in his career, in his worlds, I guess, and he admits this as well, there are the rich people who are the other dicks, the ones who you would rather see burn in hell because they're taking all your money, the ones who brag about having all these fancy cars. Then there's the middle class, and then there's the poor, and then there's everybody else, because apparently if you're poor, you've got something, but if you're not poor and you just everything else, then you're, yeah. So he says he comes from a middle class family, which makes sense, or maybe not make sense, but you know, he can see it from our point of view as well. He goes, you look, I may have all this money, but I'm gonna do it not like those top hat cats, fat cats, whatever. I'm still gonna be me. I'm still gonna have this positivity, this debate, this controversialness. This is me. Whether I had money or not, this is who I am. And he still carried that on, which is great. And tonight it showed that he really cared. He cares about the fans, he cares about where he's come from, his background, whatever. Okay, maybe he's white and maybe his background is probably as bad as G-rated as a Disney movie, but he still cares enough to actually pay attention to what's going on around him. Whereas the top cats, the fat cats, whatever you want to call them, are like, yeah, I'm just gonna pay you money and shut you up. So I like Tim Minchin, that's why I like him, because he shows that he can be human in the type of life he has, which is perfect. So tonight was definitely a fun night. It was my first time ever seeing Tim Minchin perform live, so I was really excited. I bought my tickets. What's the 9th month? That's September, isn't it? So I bought my tickets back in September last year. They came in the mail in about November, December, somewhere around there. I was like, oh god, that's a bad idea. Like, you posted it how many months before? And I don't know where to put this because my room's total chaos. So I put it in my sock drawer and it stayed there until like this morning. And I was like, okay, it's still in my sock drawer. Yay! Now it's in my carry bag and now I'm safe. Haha. And so seeing him perform live was my first experience with seeing him perform live. And it was so unreal. It was like I was a teenager all over again. It was like, holy god, this guy I've just discovered being a fan of, and now I'm a fan of him, and like, he's there were a few small hiccups along the way, but all in a good way. I don't mean it in a whole, he screwed up, he's gonna like make it blame someone else, he's gonna, you know, whatever. He's like, oh, I made this hiccup, and then we're all just gonna sit there and laugh, and he's gonna be like, this is what happens when we have too much fun. So it was, he did it in a positive light. He tried not to make it too negative. He did talk about the elephant in the room, which was Cardinal Pell. As you know, he had that Bring Pell Home song, and he said, look, I don't want to do that song anymore. It's had its run. It had its purpose. It had its run. It was for that time only. I'm not going to do that song ever again. I have no need to. I'm not going to bring up him after his criminal charges. I don't need to dance on his bones. And so he's pretty clear about that. But he did sing the Pope song, you know, the one where everyone's a mother effer if you're a kitty fiddler. That one. Yeah. Which I agree with that song. Like, if you support a kitty fiddler, then what the hell? Mind you, I probably feel like I should backtrack and eat my words because I support... Never mind. Okay, I have Twitter. Read whatever. Or Facebook, whichever. Whatever is easier to read. Anyway, this isn't about me, it's about Minchin. And so... It was great how he's like, I'm not going to bring the attention to George Pell, I'm going to bring attention to the whole debate. Like, this isn't about Pell in particular, this is about the people in power who have this power, who can hold the abuse and bring it up, you know, can silence you because they just hold the power. It's like, why? Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of his songs it's pretty easy to agree with while they're being catchy tunes that you can sing along to and go, yeah, I get this little boogie, haha, you know. Yeah, it's probably not the best idea to boogie to like anti-kitty fiddler songs. My bad. But the songs he did, like I said, was new songs, old songs, and FU songs. He also did one song from Groundhog. Unfortunately, I haven't seen Groundhog. It's not the movie, not the one that had Bill Murray in it. I haven't even seen that one either. I think I saw like... No, I haven't actually watched it. But Tim Minchin did a play called Groundhog. He did it with a few other people, and he did one of those songs. I think the song's called I'm Fine. I think. I could be wrong. But the soundtrack I've listened to a few times because it's on Spotify, and I was really excited. I was like, yeah, it's a pretty cool soundtrack. So I hope I get a chance to actually watch that perform live. And then he also did a song from Matilda called When I Grow Up. Unfortunately, I missed the chance of seeing Matilda when it came to Brisbane. I wanted to see it, but then it clashed with a lot of things, and then my sister wanted to see it, but we were debating whether she would actually sit still during like a 2-hour performance, and it's hard when you try and take kids anywhere because they won't sit still, and then when they do sit still, it's like during the last 10 minutes and you're like, I'm going to kill you. So yeah, do you really justify spending $200 on a ticket for a child, or do you justify not going? So yeah, unfortunately I'm pretty annoyed that I missed Matilda, but when it comes around next, fingers crossed, I can go see it. And that's the same with Groundhog. Hopefully you guys come and tour in Australia and Brisbane, because fingers crossed. So yeah, he also had a band. Most of the time when he does his stuff, he usually has a band with him anyway, or at least when he does his live stuff, except for television lives, it's more like concert lives. Sorry, he has a band, but this band was smaller. It wasn't like an orchestra band like the Royal Hall Orchestra that he did back in whenever. This was just, I think, 6, 9 members of the band. 2 trumpet players, a saxophone, guitarist, a girl who does like a bit of everything, and then a drummer. And Sarah was the only girl, not his wife, but like Sarah, who's just part of the band. So they were really cool to watch. They were very they interacted with each other a lot. Because it's mostly Tim's show, he didn't really want them interacting with us, but in a good way. But you know, we still had that interaction going. This is everybody. We know him. We know the band, and they weren't just shoved in the corner. They were brought forward and next to him and performing with him. And he kept going, this is this person and that's this person. I think he introduced them like 3 or 4 times. So, you know, what musician who has a solo show is letting their band take over as well? So it was a cool thing to watch. Not many artists do that. Not many go, hey, here's my band, bring them to the front. Normally they go, yeah, this is my show, it's got my name on the title, back up. So that was pretty cool. And it was nice and small. He didn't really do that many songs about his family. He sort of talked about his family. He did the If I Didn't Have You song, but he didn't do White Wine and the Sun. He didn't really talk about his daughters, but he did talk about his wife a few times. And he said that they got together in '93. I'm surprised I didn't actually click with this. Like, I've been following them for how long, I should have realised. But following them in '93, so they've been together a year longer than I've been alive. So what, 25, 26 years together? Holy wow! Whoa! I've been alive for like 24 and a half years. So I was born in '94, they got together in '93. That's fantastic. Like, whoa, round of applause. I don't think I know anybody who's been in a relationship that long. Like, kudos. Kudos. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it was very fun. It wasn't, I guess, when you normally see a musician perform live, it's normally over the top. They have all this acts, and they have the parties, dances, whatever. Pardon me, if everything's coming back up. Yeah, it was simple, and it was great. Like, you didn't have to be distracted and having your eyes looking everywhere. You could just have your eyes looking at one person. Yeah, there were other people there, but they weren't distractions. They were there because they had to be, not because, you know, they were being forced to put on a show. You get what I mean? Maybe not. But, you know, when you watch a performance, a musician mostly, you look at them and go, oh, okay, so you're going to use your band as that time while you go and do something else, or you're going to bring your dancers out because you need to, you know, do something else. Like, Tim was on stage 99.99% of the time. the only time he came off stage was to change his shirt. He changed his shirt 2-3 times, but he only came off the stage. Pardon me. Yeah, he changed his shirt 2-3 times, but he only came off the stage really once. The second time he came off the stage was more like towards the end, and then he did an encore, which is what most musicians do. But he came off once to change his shirt, and then the second time he had to change his shirt, he just did it on stage. And then he'd go for the encore, like, you know how artists go, see you guys, thanks for coming. They disappear, wait a few minutes to come back out for an encore. That's what he did. So that's when the encore came out, when they did the Groundhog and Matilda songs. Yeah, so, sorry, I think I'm losing my voice now. Oh no. So yeah, so it was a fun night. It was fantastic, fantabulous, amazing. He told his stories like he does, if you've ever seen him perform live or watched his concert DVDs, he does his stories in between, and his stories don't drag out. I have watched a few different musicians who I haven't seen perform live, but I have seen them on their concert DVD, and they will just talk and it will just stretch out, and you're like, wait, people saw you live. Like, they paid a $300 ticket and all you did was talk, and you had maybe 2 songs. Ugh. Whereas Tim, you see Tim, and it doesn't matter whether you sat in the expensive seats or you sat in the cheaper seats at the back. He talked, but he did it in a way where it didn't feel boring or slow, or you're just like, dude, seriously, what the hell? Why are you talking about this? We don't care. He did it in a way that was like, this has a reason why I'm talking about this because of this, and this will lead into this song, and then this song will lead into that. But everything has a track, and everything has a reason to be talked about and to be sung about. So everything, it was fantastic. Like, his whole show made sense from start to end. Even if you would go, hold on, wait, you were just screaming F you to Trump, and now you're singing about, like, Jesus. Right. So you go from singing angry songs to, let's praise Jesus. Yeah, so it's very interesting mix, which is what you want in a comedian. Like, you need an interesting mix. And I like how he still has his touch even after the hiatus that he's been through. And like, how many artists can you say? I think especially comedians where you can say they've gone from a hiatus and they're still good. It doesn't matter whether the comedian's been around since the 90s or whether the comedian just started yesterday. When they have a hiatus, you can tell that it's just not the same when they come back. But Tim, he's had his hiatus and he's still the same. So it's like, it's as if you never left, as if fans were still playing your stuff, and we just didn't even click that you went on a hiatus. We didn't even click that you went and had your life and did other things, because we were still following you, and you were still good, even after all this other stuff you did. At the end of the concert, the very end, they played a trailer to his new show that's going to be on Foxtel. Maybe technically not his, but more like he stars in it. It's called Upright, and where he goes with a 16-year-old girl, and they crash the car into each other, and then they have like a journey together. I don't know, it looks pretty cool. I'm annoyed that I don't have Foxtel now, because I was like, I would watch that, but now I'm going to be patient and wait for it to come on DVD. Yeah, so the fun stuff. Yay! Okay, so normally the fun stuff, I talk about merchandise, and I'm going to, so don't worry. Normally when it comes to merchandise, I get really stressed about it, because I was like, how much do I need to budget? And this morning before I left home, I I did a quick search of what Tim Minchin's merchandise is going to be, and according to his website, it's just a bunch of CDs that I already have. So I was like, oh, do I really want to go and buy merchandise? Do I really need to bring out some money? But I did, and the merchandise wasn't what I expected. So I was like, okay, I spent $190, which isn't too bad, considering that's about a normal amount. But I got, like, everything. So, yeah. So, as you saw before, this is one of the tour shirts. So, I don't know if you can actually see, but it's got security checked up across here, security check there. So I guess it's a Post Malone I don't know. And then, so I'm just trying to do, you got your bag tag label, which is twisted around his hands. Playing labels, his name, the tour shirt, the dates, well not the dates, but the countries where he's touring and all that fun stuff. So that's the one shirt. The second shirt is, where'd it go? Is this one, because they have two different designs. So I was like, I'm just getting one of everything. Why the hell not? Pardon me. So this is your second shirt. Can you see? Yeah. So that's that one. The back image of him, the back, which is what the tour is called, new songs, old songs, FU song, and again where he's touring. So that was pretty cool to get. Oh, we are in here. I don't actually know if it's in order. It probably is, but then if it is, that's like a whirlwind of a tour, because it says he's in Brisbane. Okay, then it says the next tour is in Auckland. But wouldn't it be easier for him to go to the Gold Coast? Because the Gold Coast is like a few hours up from Brisbane. So I'm kind of confused. But I don't know, I'm not running his tour and I'm not really paying attention to the dates that I didn't go to. And then he had cups. I have like a collection of tour mugs. I don't know why, but I think it's the coolest thing ever. Even though I don't know where half of them are, and I hope none of them are smashed. I'm serious, I have like cups and mugs from every tour I go to, and it's one of the weird things that I collect. I don't know why, but I do. I mean, a girl always needs cups and mugs, right? When you move out of home. Okay, so again, two different mugs, two different cups, based on the two different shirts. So that was that one. And then the final two, so like I said, I got pretty much everything. The only thing I didn't get was the tote bags, because I have no reason for tote bags. I've got my own bags. I've got a million other bags at home. So it's like, why do I need a tote bag? So there's Storm, the book that Tim Minchin came up with Neil Gaiman. I had a flick through it. It's based on a song that he wrote, and then he realized it's too long and people probably wouldn't sit through listening to it. So he made it into a book. A little graphic novel book, which is pretty cool to read. I think I've heard the song, but yeah, it goes on for like a couple of minutes. I think it's like 10 minutes long, and then he just made it longer, and it's like, oh, I can't shorten it without it not making sense. So I made it into a book, which is cool. And then I will assume this is inspired by Matilda, so it's When I Grow Up. It's obviously a children's book, sort of. Yeah, a children's book, but I'm an adult and I don't have kids. So it's When I Grow Up. It's the lyrics of When I Grow Up, obviously, and the pictures that match the words. And then at the back, it's just got like a little grow chart for your little kid, or maybe yourself. But I've probably stopped growing. Yeah, so that was all the merch, and that was my little reel on Tim Minchin. I hope he comes back to Brisbane again the next time he tours, or next time he releases new stuff, because I would love to see him live again. I doubt it. I'm pretty sure he's going to be one of those artists that I will never tire of, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be one of those artists that no matter when, or no matter what he's doing, I'm still going to follow his career, and when it comes to his music, I'm not going to stop listening to it. Doesn't matter whether other people think it's controversial or not. To me, it's good. It starts this debate. It's giving people a reason to listen to something that ordinarily gets swept under the carpet. So it's perfect. And if he tours, I'm fingers crossed going to see him alive again. It's just a matter of where and when. Yeah. So yeah, you know, I honestly can't wait to see what else Tim Minchin does, except for Upright, because I won't be able to see Upright. Apparently he also did a cartoon animation thing, but somebody did something and it ended up in the trash because the company bought another company, which is really sad, because he's like, it was so awesome, I spent 3 years on it and then it just got binned. Rich people getting richer, I swear. That's why nothing in Hollywood is good anymore. So yeah, another rant on that another day. I don't like Hollywood, says the girl who put so much crap online. Yeah, so I don't know what else to say. It's like 25 minutes long. I'm losing my breath and I'm pretty sure my dinner's starting to come back up. Ew, too much information. But yeah, so if you haven't already, go see Tim Minchin live. He's fantastic live. If you don't know who he is, then go Google him. He's got like a zillion songs out. He's worth listening to. And he's not not afraid to make a mockery of himself as well. He's like, hey, look, I'm going to be myself as much as I can. If I'm going to point fingers at somebody else, I'm going to point fingers at myself too. Though he doesn't have any skeletons in the closet, so he can only go so far before faking it. Yeah, I had a front row seat tonight, which was really cool. Like front row, like Tim was there and I was here, and like sometimes he would look over and I'd be like, "Dude, you're looking at me," but he probably wasn't. He's probably just finding the stare like you're supposed to look at in the audience and just stare. But yeah, he came up pretty close to the end of the stage. Like you could probably touch him, but then you would probably get kicked out. So it was pretty cool that he came pretty close and he interacted as much as he felt like he could. So yeah, like I said, it's worth going to, so you should go see him perform live if you get the chance. But it sells out pretty quick, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, I enjoyed Tim Minchin's show. I'm glad I saw him perform live, and I hope he comes back again. And I don't know what else to say. Yeah. So yeah. Bye.
Here we go.